I think I've got quite a unique blend of experience working in housing, having worked in a range of roles that give me lots of different angles on the challenges we face. I started out in customer services about 9 years ago, and that was a role that I think gave me the broadest kind of start and knowledge of who we are and what we do, as well as giving insight into what our services mean for the people we give homes to. After that, I was drafted into a project team implementing new housing management software, which enabled me to translate some of those insights and knowledge of our customers into real process changes and improvements and system upgrades. After that, I've worked a range of roles in strategy and performance, and then moving into IT. Along the way, I picked up various skills in programming and coding, report writing, data handling and analysis. So a kind of a range of technical skills that complement the frontline knowledge that I started out with. Since 2016, I've been working as our digital transformation manager here at One Manchester. That's a role that I love because it really allows me to combine that diverse range of skills and knowledge that I've picked up and put them into practice. So I've worked on things such as establishing an IT club for older people at one of our sheltered schemes using community volunteers, building leading edge online services for our customers, writing data collection software that helps us plan and predict services, and I'm working every day with a great team to bring new, faster ways of mobile working to our frontline staff. So I think in short, problem solving is what excites me, and that's been a common thread through my time in housing, whether that be turning a customer complaint into a service improvement or fixing some code or working with small teams to find fast solutions to new problems. I get on with people and I take a pragmatic fail fast approach to finding out what works and then making that a reality. If I had the backing and a team right now and a willing testbed of volunteers, I'd like us to design a flexible, adaptable and low-cost Internet of Things package for the home, which we could then install in one of our sheltered schemes with a view to then extending it out to the rest. So that would comprise of a range of monitors throughout the home on things such as doors, light switches, water and electricity, bed pressure pads. So all things that would track normal patterns of activity and movement through the home on a daily basis. Then using machine learning and data analytics, we can build up a picture of what normal looks like for each resident, and where we get interruptions to those patterns or irregular activity, we can then trigger an escalation process to check if those people are okay. So in the first instance, that would probably mean open up communications, just to ask simply to the resident, are you okay? If they confirm they are, it stops there. If we don't get a response, that can escalate to the on-site warden to go down and physically check on the person. If the warden then feels that that is potentially an emergency situation, they can hit the button that would alert ambulance service, support workers, family members, whoever needs to know, and that would all happen within minutes. So as landlords, I think we have a duty to create homes that are safe and fit for purpose as can be for our residents. And this kind of technology already exists and it's relatively low cost, so I think it's incumbent on us to explore it. I'm aware that some associations have run pilots in this kind of thing, but as far as I'm aware, they're mostly small scale and relatively short term. I'm not aware of anybody that's sort of scaled it up and really built it out into a package that's then transferable and durable. I think if we can do that, then it would be really valuable for the sector and possibly a stepping stone to much more in the same direction. I think the greatest housing challenge that we are well placed to address is how do we manage frailty in the home? How do we help people to stay in their homes for longer, healthy and happy? People are living for longer all the time, which is fundamentally a good news story, but brings with it an increase in age-related diseases, chronic conditions and long-term frailty, all of which are producing massive extra strain on the NHS and on social care. That's headline news, and it's right that there's a national conversation at the moment about how we fund those services and bring them the extra funding they need. But I don't think that the housing sector can just sit back and let that debate rage on. I think we kind of have a moral duty to step up and say we can do our bit and we're well placed to do our bit. The NHS on any given day has up to 6,000 people sitting in hospital beds who no longer need hospital treatment. So those people need to be at home. What can we do to help them get home? Now, there are some schemes at the moment being piloted around sort of halfway house type stuff where people discharged from hospital might stay in the spare room of a neighbour or a local resident. While I think initiatives like that are noble and there's a place for them, it's clearly only a patchwork solution. It's not going to work for everybody, and actually on large scale it's not very cost effective. So if we agree the best place for people to be and to be well is in their home, then what more can we do as landlords and associations? Well, I talked about some of the technology we can use and the way we can use data in my previous answer, but I think it's about much more than that. I think it's about a coordinated approach from across the sector, with all housing associations speaking with one voice to say, we recognise there's a challenge here, we recognise that we have a responsibility, and then being bold in redefining our role, pitching ourselves as equal partners with health and social care when it comes to things like designing services and accessing funds. We need to show that we're serious about this and that we're in it for the long term, because let's face it, it's not a crisis that's going to go away. It's here for the next 50, 100, 1,000 years, however long we're around. So we need to show that we're in it for the long term, and we need to show that we are prepared to dedicate a lot of resources to it. We need lots of brains and bodies on the job from across our sector with a broad range of specialisms. I think the greenhouse could be a really good place for that journey to start, and I would be really excited to be involved if I get the chance.